The night of September 27th, 2024, will forever be etched in the memories of Perry, Florida residents. At precisely 11:10 p.m., Hurricane Helene, a raging Category 4 monster, slammed into the coastline near the town, unleashing its fury upon the unsuspecting community. Winds howled at a terrifying 150 miles per hour, tearing apart structures and ripping trees from their roots. The relentless pounding of the storm surge began to erode the shoreline, pushing seawater further and further inland. The darkness was punctuated by flashes of lightning, illuminating the apocalyptic scene unfolding below. This was a night of terror and devastation, a night that would test the resilience of Perry and its people. As the hurricane made landfall, the sheer force of the wind was palpable. Debris flew through the air like deadly projectiles, propelled by the ferocious gusts. Homes were reduced to rubble, their roofs peeled back like tin cans. The air was thick with the smell of salt water and the sounds of destruction. The relentless onslaught of wind and rain continued for hours, battering the town and its surrounding areas. The once familiar landscape was transformed into a scene of chaos and ruin, a testament to the raw power of nature's fury. The storm's impact was immediately felt as communication lines went down, plunging the area into darkness. The roar of the wind and the crashing waves drowned out all other sounds, creating an eerie and unsettling atmosphere. The few residents who had chosen to ride out the storm huddled in their homes, praying for the nightmare to end. Fear and uncertainty gripped the community as Helene continued its destructive march inland. The storm's intensity was relentless and the sense of dread was palpable. The magnitude of the disaster was still unfolding. But one thing was certain: Perry, Florida, had been dealt a devastating blow. The road to recovery would be long and arduous, but the spirit of the community would be crucial in overcoming this immense challenge. As the first rays of dawn broke, the true extent of the damage would become horrifyingly clear. The community would have to band together to rebuild their lives and their town. The days ahead would test their strength and resolve. The eye of Hurricane Helene, a deceptive pocket of calm amidst the raging tempest, passed directly over Taylor County near the Osceola River. This brief respite from the storm's fury was an unsettling experience for those in its path. The wind died down, the rain subsided, and an eerie silence descended upon the ravaged landscape. But this calm was merely a prelude to the second act of Helene's destructive performance. The eye of the storm is a chilling reminder of the power that lies within these natural phenomena. The Osceola River, a vital waterway in the region, played a significant role in the storm's impact. The storm surge pushed massive amounts of seawater up the river, causing it to overflow its banks and inundate surrounding areas. The river, once a source of life and recreation, became a conduit for destruction, carrying the storm's fury deep inland. The flooding caused by the overflowing river exacerbated the damage caused by the wind and rain, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. The eerie stillness within the eye was a stark contrast to the chaos that preceded it. The sky above, though still ominous, offered a glimpse of blue amidst the swirling grey clouds. This temporary reprieve, however, was short-lived. The wind soon picked up again, this time from the opposite direction with renewed intensity. The respite was over, and the second round of the storm's fury was about to begin. The residents knew that the worst was far from over. As the eye passed, the full force of the hurricane returned, bringing with it a renewed onslaught of wind and rain. The temporary lull in the storm served as a stark reminder of the immense power contained within these natural forces. The residents of Taylor County knew that the worst was yet to come, and they braced themselves for the inevitable return of Helene's wrath. The eye of the storm was a deceptive calm, a brief intermission before the next act of nature's devastating play. Hurricane Helene's path was eerily reminiscent of previous storms that have impacted the Big Bend region of Florida. The area, known for its unique geography, is particularly vulnerable to storm surge. The shallow waters of the Gulf of Mexico allow for a significant buildup of water. which is then pushed inland by the force of the hurricane's winds. This phenomenon was seen in previous storms like Hurricane Debby in 2012 and Hurricane Idalia in 2023, both of which caused significant flooding in the region. Helene's track brought back painful memories of these past disasters. Hurricane Debby, though not as powerful as Helene, stalled over the Big Bend area, dumping torrential rainfall and causing widespread flooding. The storm's slow movement allowed for a prolonged period of heavy rain, which saturated the ground and led to significant river flooding. The memory of Debby's devastating impact served as a grim reminder of the dangers posed by even weaker storms. The region's vulnerability to flooding was once again brought to the forefront. Hurricane Idalia, a more recent storm, also highlighted the Big Bend's vulnerability to storm surge. The storm's rapid intensification just before landfall caught many off guard, resulting in a higher-than-expected surge that inundated coastal communities. The lessons learned from Idalia, particularly the importance of accurate and timely forecasting, were still fresh in the minds of residents as Helene approached. The region was still recovering from Idalia's impact when Helene struck. The similarities between Helene's path and those of Debby and Idalia raised concerns about the potential for similar levels of devastation. The Big Bend region had been hit hard by hurricanes in recent years, and residents were understandably anxious about the potential impact of another major storm. The cumulative effect of these storms highlighted the need for improved infrastructure and disaster preparedness in the region. The echoes of past hurricanes served as a stark warning of what was to come. As Hurricane Helene churned towards the Florida coast, the residents of Perry braced themselves for the inevitable impact. Evacuation orders were issued for low-lying areas, and emergency shelters were opened to provide refuge for those fleeing the storm's path. The town, located inland from the coast, was still expected to experience significant impacts from the storm, including high winds, heavy rainfall, and potential flooding. The community rallied together, preparing for the worst while hoping for the best. The atmosphere was tense, with a palpable sense of anxiety hanging in the air. The forecasted storm surge was a major concern for Perry and the surrounding areas. The National Hurricane Center predicted a surge of up to 12 feet in some areas, which could inundate coastal communities and cause significant damage to infrastructure. The surge was expected to reach well inland, putting even inland towns like Perry at risk of flooding. Residents prepared for the worst, securing their homes and businesses and moving valuables to higher ground. The threat of flooding loomed large, adding to the already heightened sense of anxiety. Rainfall projections were equally alarming. Forecasters predicted anywhere from 10 to 15 inches of rain, with isolated amounts of up to 20 inches possible. This amount of rainfall could overwhelm drainage systems and lead to widespread flooding, even in areas not directly impacted by the storm surge. The potential for flash flooding was a serious concern, as heavy rainfall could quickly overwhelm rivers and streams, causing them to overflow their banks. Residents were urged to stay vigilant and monitor weather reports closely. The geography of Perry and the Big Bend region made them particularly vulnerable to the impacts of Hurricane Helene. The low-lying terrain and the shallow waters of the Gulf of Mexico created a perfect storm for a devastating storm surge. The region's many rivers and streams also posed a flood risk, as they could quickly become overwhelmed by heavy rainfall. The combination of storm surge and heavy rainfall created a dangerous scenario for the region, and residents were bracing for a long and difficult recovery. The unique characteristics of the Big Bend region made it particularly susceptible to the destructive forces of nature. Perry, the county seat of Taylor County, is a small town with a rich history and a strong sense of community. Located in the heart of Florida's Big Bend region, Perry is known for its natural beauty, its friendly residents, and its laid-back atmosphere. The town's history is intertwined with the timber industry, which played a vital role in its development. Today, Perry is a hub for agriculture, forestry and tourism, attracting visitors with its charming downtown area, its proximity to the Gulf of Mexico, and its abundance of outdoor recreational opportunities. The town's history is deeply rooted in the land and its resources. The town's name honors Madison Stark Perry, a prominent Florida politician and military leader who served as the state's fourth governor. Perry's legacy is still felt in the town that bears his name, a testament to his contributions to the state's development. The town's history is a source of pride for its residents, who value their heritage and their connection to the past. The town's historical significance adds to its charm and character. Situated along the banks of the Osceola River, Perry has always had a close relationship with the natural world. The river has played a crucial role in the town's development, providing transportation, resources and recreational opportunities. The town's location in the Big Bend region, where the Panhandle curves into the peninsula, offers a unique blend of coastal and inland environments, attracting nature lovers and outdoor enthusiasts. The town's natural beauty is a major draw for visitors and residents alike. The town's history is also intertwined with the timber industry, which once dominated the region's economy. The vast forests surrounding Perry provided a valuable resource, and the town became a center for logging and timber processing. While the timber industry is no longer the dominant force it once was, it remains an important part of the local economy. The town's history is reflected in its architecture, its culture, and its people. The legacy of the timber industry is still visible in the town today. As the sun rose on the morning after Hurricane Helene's landfall, the true extent of the devastation began to emerge. The once familiar landscape was transformed into a scene of utter destruction. Downed power lines snaked across streets littered with debris, homes were reduced to rubble, and floodwaters lingered in low-lying areas. The air was heavy with the smell of salt water and the stench of decay. The scope of the damage was overwhelming, and the road to recovery promised to be long and arduous. The community faced a daunting task ahead. The immediate aftermath of the storm brought with it a wave of shock and disbelief. Residents emerged from their shelters or what remained of their homes to survey the damage, many struggling to comprehend the magnitude of the disaster. The loss of life and property was staggering, and the emotional toll on the community was immense. The sense of loss was palpable as residents grappled with the devastation that had befallen their town. The days ahead would test their resilience and their spirit. The recovery process began immediately, with emergency responders working tirelessly to clear debris, restore power, and provide aid to those in need. Volunteers from neighboring communities poured into Perry, offering their support and assistance. The outpouring of help and compassion was a testament to the human spirit's ability to overcome adversity. Despite the immense challenges, the community rallied together, determined to rebuild their lives and their town. The spirit of resilience shone brightly in the face of devastation. The road to recovery would be long and challenging, but the people of Perry were determined to rebuild their lives and their community. The storm had tested their strength and resilience, but it had also revealed the deep bonds that connected them. The spirit of community, of helping one another, and of never giving up would be the driving force behind the rebuilding process. The aftermath of Hurricane Helene would forever be a part of Perry's history, but it would not define its future. The town would emerge from the rubble stronger